Have you ever met someone who seemed perfect at first, confident, charming, maybe even a little mysterious, but months later, you felt emotionally drained, confused, and questioning your own worth? It's not that you became weaker. It's that you were slowly being pulled into a relationship with someone who lacked emotional maturity and self-awareness. Today, we're diving deep into 6 hidden signs of a low-value partner and how to protect yourself using Stoic principles. Remember, this isn't about judging anyone. It's about recognizing patterns that destroy peace of mind. The Stoics taught that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. Once you see these signs clearly, you'll stop imagining potential and start seeing reality. The first and most destructive red flag is a consistent lack of accountability. Low-value individuals rarely say, "I made a mistake." Instead, every setback is someone else's fault. Their ex was toxic, their job was unfair, their parents unsupportive. The pattern is always the same. They're the victim in every story. Psychologists call this an external locus of control, the belief that life happens to you, not because of you. People with this mindset can't grow, because self-reflection feels like an attack instead of a lesson. In contrast, emotionally mature people own their part. When a Stoic like Marcus Aurelius faced failure, he wrote, "If it's endurable, then endure it. Stop complaining." I once coached a client named Sarah, who dated a man that never took blame. Every argument ended with him saying, "You're too sensitive." After a year, she realized she was constantly apologizing, even when she hadn't done anything wrong. That's what happens when accountability is missing. You become the emotional janitor cleaning up their mess. Ask questions early in dating. When they describe past relationships, listen for patterns. If every story ends with, "They betrayed me," or "I was treated unfairly," that's a preview of the story. They'll tell about you later. What's within my control here, and what isn't? If the answer is nothing, it's not a partnership, it's a blame game. The second sign is chronic disrespect, subtle at first, but toxic over time. Disrespect doesn't always sound like yelling or insults. Sometimes it's the tiny smirks, the interruptions, the mocking jokes that make you feel smaller each day. People often dismiss it as just teasing, but here's the truth. Consistent belittlement is not humor, it's erosion. According to research in relationship psychology, contempt, eye-rolling, sarcasm, mockery is the #1 predictor of divorce. That's how destructive disrespect can be. But Stoicism gives us a tool here, the discipline of perception. Instead of reacting emotionally, observe patterns. Ask yourself, do I feel smaller when I'm around this person, or stronger? A friend of mine once dated someone who was polite in private, but rude to waiters. She brushed it off as stress. A year later, that same contempt turned toward her. How people treat those who can't benefit them reveals their true character. When someone's humor depends on your humiliation, it's not connection, it's control disguised as wit. High-value partners communicate with curiosity, not condescension. Set a boundary the first time disrespect appears. A calm statement like, "I don't find that funny," is enough to see how they handle accountability. A mature partner will adjust. An immature one will double down or gaslight you. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Epictetus, you can't force respect, but you can choose to leave environments that lack it. The third hidden sign is emotional volatility without self-management. Everyone has bad days, but when small issues trigger massive reactions, tears, rage, silent treatment, and there's no effort to improve, that's a red flag. Emotional regulation is one of the clearest markers of maturity. In Stoic philosophy, this is the art of apatheia, not indifference, but emotional discipline. The Stoics didn't suppress emotion, they examined it before acting. When someone lacks that self-management, you end up walking on eggshells, tailoring every word to avoid setting them off. That's not love, it's survival. Imagine you're planning a simple weekend trip. You mention a scheduling conflict, and suddenly your partner is crying, shouting, or accusing you of not caring. What began as logistics becomes a crisis. Over time, you start monitoring their moods more than your own, and lose yourself in the process. Emotional volatility often traces back to unresolved trauma or learned chaos from childhood. But here's the key difference. Healing requires ownership. A person in therapy, journaling, or learning coping tools is safe to grow with. A person who says, "That's just how I am, deal with it," isn't. Observe how they recover from emotional episodes. Do they reflect and apologize later, or pretend nothing happened? Healthy partners return to center. Unhealthy ones expect you to orbit around their chaos. Seneca wrote, "He who is angry at the right things and with the right measure has taken the first step toward wisdom." Emotional awareness isn't about never feeling, it's about feeling responsibly. When you're tempted to fix someone's moods, pause, ask, am I helping them grow or enabling their instability? Love can support someone in healing, but it can't replace their effort to self-manage. If any of these first three signs sound familiar, lack of accountability, disrespect, or volatility, take heart. Recognition is liberation. In the next section, we'll explore the remaining three hidden signs: financial irresponsibility, boundary issues, and dishonesty, plus how to protect yourself with practical, Stoic-inspired strategies. Before we continue, remember, awareness isn't cynicism, it's clarity. And clarity is peace. The fourth hidden sign is financial irresponsibility mixed with entitlement, a slow, quiet drain on trust. At first it may look harmless, I just forgot my wallet, or you make more than I do, right? But patterns tell the truth. If someone repeatedly spends beyond their means, collects debt, and expects you to fill the gaps, that's not generosity, it's exploitation dressed as partnership. Money isn't just currency, it's a mirror of discipline. The Stoics viewed external possessions as indifference, neither good nor bad by themselves, yet they believed virtue determines how you use them. When a partner treats money carelessly, it often reflects the same approach to responsibility in general. I once knew a couple who split everything 50-50 until the woman started hinting that paying her share was unromantic. Within months, he was covering rent, car payments, even her student loans, all while she spent her income on vacations. Eventually he realized he wasn't in love, he was in debt. Ask open questions about money values early. How do you like to handle shared expenses? Do you budget or track spending? Their comfort level with these questions tells you more than numbers do. If a partner equates financial boundaries with lack of love, they're showing that affection must be purchased. True connection doesn't require a receipt. Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Epictetus. Financial stability isn't about luxury, it's about integrity. A relationship where both take responsibility creates freedom instead of fear. Visual cue. Hands placing coins on balanced scale fades into calm, minimalist shot of tidy budget journal. The fifth red flag is an inability to respect boundaries, emotional, physical, or personal. It can start sweetly, constant texting, rapid declarations of love, surprise visits. But what feels like passion is often possession. A low-value partner confuses closeness with control. Healthy love breathes. The Stoics taught that virtue thrives in autonomy, each person mastering their own mind first. When someone can't stand space or no, it's because their self-worth depends on your availability. A man once shared how his girlfriend demanded access to his phone for transparency. When he hesitated, she accused him of hiding things. Weeks later, she was reading his work emails and tracking his location. What began as love language turned into surveillance. Boundary issues often stem from abandonment, anxiety, or chaotic childhoods where personal space was never respected. Compassion helps, but enabling does not. Boundaries are invitations to mutual respect, not barriers to intimacy. State limits early. I value alone time on weekends. Observe reactions. Respectful partners adapt. Controlling one's test limits. Hold firm. Each time you compromise to avoid conflict, you teach them your no is negotiable. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior. Confucius, embraced by Stoics, conquer your fear of disappointing others. A boundary isn't rejection, it's self-respect. The sixth and most corrosive sign is persistent dishonesty. Lies, even small ones, are termites in the foundation of trust. When stories don't match, when explanations always change, when privacy morphs into secrecy, you're not in a partnership, you're in a guessing game. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." Take Emma, who discovered her boyfriend was hiding an entire second Instagram account filled with flirtatious messages. When confronted, he said, "It's just for attention." But deceit isn't about scale, it's about mindset. Once trust cracks, the relationship becomes a courtroom. Address discrepancies calmly. "I noticed your story changed from before." Watch the response. Ownership shows maturity. Defensive shows pattern. Set a hard line. Chronic dishonesty rarely reverses, it evolves. You can forgive, but you can't unknow. Trust, once shattered, rebuilds slowly and rarely to full strength. Choosing honesty may cost a relationship, but losing integrity costs yourself. So how do you protect yourself from these 6 signs? By living the Stoic principle: control what you can, accept what you can't, and walk away from what destroys your peace. See patterns, not promises. Consistency reveals character. Respond, don't react. Emotional discipline is your armor. Choose solitude over chaos. Being alone isn't loneliness, it's alignment. High standards aren't arrogance. When you raise your standards, you don't lose people, you lose those who were never meant to meet them. And remember, the goal isn't to label others as low value, it's to cultivate higher value within yourself, so you attract those who mirror it. If this message brought you clarity, share it with someone who needs peace more than approval. Like, subscribe, and drop a comment about which sign resonated most. Your story could be the mirror someone else needs.